right. So, wanted to hop on here and just share this message with you today. And here's the message: how these simple reports from grade school teach you two very critical lessons about business. So I'm going to say that again. How these simple reports from grade school teach you two very critical lessons about business. That's what I want to share with you here today. My name is Charles Z. Coach Wilson, and I'm coming to you live and direct from Harker Heights, Texas. And just had to hop on here and bring you this message. And so the way that this message came about, laying in the bed early in the morning on Saturday, this past Saturday morning, yesterday morning, and I woke up out of my sleep thinking about perfect attendance. And so you might be, kind of wondering what perfect attendance has to do with business. And I'm going to tell you what it does. But first, I want to break it down to you as it applies to school. So the first thing about going to school, about going to grade school, is you got to show up. So many children do not do as well in school because they don't show up. They miss class. They miss school. And it holds them back. And the same thing happens in business. And so in school, there's a couple of things you got to do just to be on an even keel. There's a couple of things you got to do. First thing that you got to do is you got to show up. You got to show up to class every day, 5 days a week. That's how often school is open. You got to show up each one of those 5 days. And guess what? You got to show up on time, because there's nothing like walking into a class late and the teacher's already explained something that you need to know and you just missed it. And now they got the other things that they got to do and you're not going to be able to catch up until later. So you want to make sure that you show up to school daily and you show up on time. And then the next thing is you gotta have your resources. You gotta have your pen. You gotta have your paper. You gotta have your homework. You gotta be prepared to learn. So how does this relate to business? How does perfect attendance relate to business? So many of you, and I'm talking to a specific community here. I'm talking to the direct sales, the network marketing, but basically this applies to any business. If you want to be successful in business, you got to show up. So many times, you have a problem and you struggle with being successful because you don't show up every day. And what do I mean by this? You don't show up every day to work your business. So you take a lot of days off, and what's unique is with most of these businesses, you don't even have to show up to school all day. You don't have to show up to your business all day. But when you show up, you got to be there. But the problem is most people don't show up every day. You got to show up every day. And so if you set your business up to be open for 5 days a week, then you got to show up each day. You got to pick that time that you're going to open your business up, and you got to show up. And guess what? When you show up, you got to show up prepared. You got to show up with your resources. What tools are you using to promote, market, advertise your business? What tools? You got to show up with this before you clock in for your business. You got to show up with these things already on hand. But so many times people don't show up prepared, or they don't show up on a regular basis. And what happens in the business world is every day that you show up, you start to pick up momentum. Every day that you show up, you start to get a rhythm. You start to develop a trend within yourself and within your performance, kind of like an athlete. But when you don't show up, you stop the momentum and you got to go back to the bottom of the hill and you got to start over. And every time you don't show up regularly, you have to start over. And this makes it incredibly hard to be successful with your business. And so the first one of those critical lessons that from school, the attendance report teaches us in business is you got to show up every day and you got to show up prepared to work. Now, the second thing that happens to you at school, the second report that's also critical in business, it is your report card. It's your report card. Now, your report card is a reflection of how much you participated in class. Your report card is a reflection of how much and how well you studied for the test. Your report card is a reflection of, did you do your homework? These are all of the things that make up your homework in school, in grade school. But it also relates to business. And I want you to understand that, because so many times, as I was stating, so many times, you show up to your business, you show up to work your business for 2 hours on Monday, but you spend an hour and a half of that looking at people's posts on social media. That's not going to move your business along down the road. See, in business, in direct sales, in network marketing, there's what's called money-making activities. MMAs, money-making activity. When you show up, when you clock in for your business, you got to be doing money-making activities. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the different money-making activities today, but you got to show up and you got to be focused on money-making activity. There's a lot of things that you can do in your business on a day-to-day basis, but there's only a few things that's going to lead you to money. And so when you show up to work your business, you have to do the money-making activity when you show up. And guess what? It produces a report card. And that report card is your commission check. That report card is the leaders that you develop. That report card is the people that you serve, the people that you help. And so in closing, my name is Charles D. Coach Wilson. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe right down below to my YouTube channel. Also, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. The handle is all the same. It's The Coach Wilson, at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And that's spelled TheCoachWilson. It's all one word, ladies and gentlemen. That is my social media handle. You can also find me on LinkedIn there. My name is Charles The Coach Wilson, and I just shared with you how 2 simple reports from grade school provide 2 very critical lessons in business. I'll talk with you later. Peace.